Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode or broadcast of Fast Break here, live for iSports Radio, your direct feed for all sports, and you're welcome to join us. On tonight's broadcast, we talk Game 7 galore. We talk about the Knicks and Pacers that ended early this afternoon. What should the Pacers do to beat the Celtics? And what's the future for the Knicks? Did they run out of gas against the Pacers? Plus, we'll talk live about the Nuggets, Timberwolves. They're about to tip here in just a little bit. Who wins that game in that matchup? Plus, the young Thunder gets beaten 6 by the Dallas Mavericks. What does the future hold for them? And can the Mavs be a sneaky team to make to the NBA Finals? We'll discuss that and much more here on Fast Break Live on Spreaker for iSports Radio. And let's get on to it. And thank you for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you where you're listening from on very warm May 19th, 2024. I'm glad y'all tuned in with us. A lot of great basketball has been going on. You had basketball last night on ABC between the Mavs and the Thunder. Today, this afternoon, Knicks, Pacers. Blowout there. And then right now, I think you got the main event tonight. The Nuggets, Timberwolves, Game 7 on TNT. So we're going to discuss that live and all that stuff. But D-Lock, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Getting ready to see this next game and see how this goes. But obviously seeing what happened with the Knicks and Pacers. All the jokes are coming out now. I think I just sent you one of them. But jokes are everywhere with the Knicks right now.
Let's go and dive into that Knicks game. If y'all didn't see the game today, I've talked good portions of it. Granted, I had to work today, but I had my laptop with me. But the Pacers came out strong at the gate and held that lead for the rest of the way. They win 130-109 against the New York Knicks in Game 7 at the Garden. I kind of called my shot today on Twitter / X. I called my shot. I said, and I kind of baked this D-Lock off the conversation we had the other day. And you brought a good point. Like, it seemed like, just run out of gas, the Knicks are. And I thought, okay, I'm going to shoot my shot. The Pacers going to win today. And I'm surprised, Knicks fans on Twitter didn't kind of get on my case, whatever. But I shot my shot, and the Pacers won handily against the Knicks. 130-109. Tyrese Halliburton, 6 3-pointers for him today, 6 for 12, 26 points for him, 6 assists. Nima Hard, 20 points for him, 8 for 10 for the field. Pass out Siakam, 20 points for him. Had some very clutch shots at certain points of the game that kind of kept the fleet afloat. TJ McConnell, very strong game off the bench for him. 12 points for him, 7 assists for him as well. On the Knicks side of things, it was like the walking wounded. And we'll discuss that more in a second. OG Anunoby, he came, got 5 points, and then he went out. Perfect from the field, though. Brunson had 17 points, 9 assists, but he went out with that fractured hand. Josh Hart had 10 points. DiVincenzo had 41 minutes and had 39 points. Not a bad shooting night for him. Alex Burks off the bench, 26 points. And McBride, 8 points for him, with him playing 40 minutes. D-Lock, it seemed like everything was kind of set up for a Knicks win. But like we discussed the other day, it seemed like things broke down for the guys at the very worst way. What were your opinions of this game as it went along, and were you surprised by the results?
To be honest with you, it was earlier. I thought about it being surprising at first, being the fact that it was Game 7. No, but to be honest with you, the more I thought about it, it really isn't. I mean, again, you're talking about a Tibbs team, as we know, that he's known for having his starting five play, so many minutes, right? And what happens is it just wore down. I mean, guys are playing so many minutes throughout the season. I mean, it slowly caught up to him. I mean, it got to the point to where Alec Burke was in minutes in a crucial Game 7. You know what I mean? Obviously, he obviously should get minutes, but why so late? And I think the reason why he got those minutes is because OG was hurt, right? Let's not forget Julius Randle is not also playing. So, over time, I think how this team has been competing throughout the season, it caught up to him. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like, Knicks was gonna run into the Celtics the next round anyway. That would probably be even worse. But again, now you get to the point to where you ask yourself, or you ask why did this happen? And this Knicks team has just been playing entirely too many minutes, man. And it finally caught up to them at the wrong time. This is a long season. NBA has one of the longest seasons in all sports. And when you rely on your starter five to have so many minutes and depend on them to do so much, it's going to take a toll on them at some point. So again, wanted to be kind of like I said earlier, a little bit surprised, but then I'm thinking, hell, we've seen this too many times by Tibbs. We've seen him do this at his other stops. And to see this happen the way that it did, not a shock at all.
I think, and shout out to the chat. Show him shout Terry Rodriguez. How you doing tonight, sir? Hope everything's going well with you. And Terry said the two most amazing words in the NBA. Game 7. Oh yeah, they love it, and they love it for their pockets too. But let me address the Indiana side first. Hey, shout out to them going to the Garden with that crowd, going to the Lions Den, stuff like that. The history that those two teams has had in the playoffs. To go in there to beat down the Knicks like you did in Game 7, nothing but congratulations. Rick Carlisle deserves credit. He never let things get out of control. Even when the Knicks get like a little run, he put a squash to it, called appropriate timeouts, and did a great job. They shot the ball very well. 67% from the field, 54% for 3-point land. You can't ask more for that. Trying to pull the team stats real quick. Granted, the free throw shooting can be better, but you out rebounding the Knicks 33-28. 9 blocks as well. So, and then scoring more points in the paint, which will be obvious because the Knicks don't got like a score down there. But shout out to them. For like getting that big league and staying in that big league and not letting up at all. To the Knicks side of things, like I said, me and you texted and you said they just too many minutes running out of gas, and at home it was kind of like the worst outcome that you saw. And then on top of that, two of your more prevalent players in OG Onabi and Jalen Brunson going out with injuries. Seeing Shams, he's saying Brunson has a fractured left hand. That sucks. That sucks for him. And we talked before the air, D-Lock. Tom Thibodeau kind of reminds you like a jockey at the Kentucky Derby. Well, just a horse racing in general. It probably reminds you of a jockey that's trying to get out a big old lead and start whipping his horse early. And then that last mile or so, or half a mile, the horse kind of like withers real quick at the end, and then the horse places 10th place at the final results. That's kind of Tom Thibodeau in a nutshell. Like from the beginning of the season to wherever the team loses in the playoffs, they break down. And yeah, some of y'all probably listen to it say, well, injuries happen in sports. Yes, they do. But with this coach, some reason or another, these guys kind of break down, and it's not for the greater. I mean, it's not great you get injuries, but these guys kind of just break down. Like the time of his Bulls, Noah, Joakim Noah, injury into injury, and he was never the same. Derrick Rose, some could attribute like too much jumping on and stuff, not more finesse in his game. Maybe, maybe not. But look at Rose now. Boozer, other guys. It's like it's just wearing down, wearing down, wearing down. And now look at the Knicks. OG's hurt again. Jalen's out. Julius out. Bogdanovich is out. Josh Hart. If he didn't have that, if it wasn't the playoffs, he probably sat out game 6 with that abdominal injury. Let's be real about that. Maybe, maybe not. Mitchell Robinson. So the Pacers took advantage of a great situation. And for the Knicks, D-Lock, I really don't know where they go. There's a certain level. It's like Tibbs can get you to a point, but he can't get you over the hump. And I think it's a fair thing to question. He's a fine coach. I'm not going to take that away from him. But there is just a peak with him in terms of coaching. I'll let you that last word.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a hell of a coach as well. But it could possibly be just, like I said, and I'm not a basketball coach, but I feel like, it could be something simple as just having them playing so many minutes, scaling back on some of the minutes that he has been doing. Because clearly these are the things that we've seen happen numerous times. He have the guys play so many minutes that it wears them down. And the Pacers, and this is let's not, like I said, have no slouch to the Pacers. Hell, the Pacers, when they said they were in the in season tournament with the Lakers. But this is not a team that is a slouch at all. I think one of the biggest moves that they did make was going to get Pascal Siakam. I think that was a great move for them. But again, you're talking about what did play a part is, like I said, the Knicks having this big, all this time of playing. Like now, their bodies is going to be worn down, man. It just, that's what that is. So now, hopefully, this is something that they can learn from. I mean, I think they had a hell of a season, but there's more that can be done. But the question is, what do they do? What happens with the group of guys that they do have? Do they add pieces? Do they move a few pieces? How do they go? How do they move from now to make that next push forward?
Yeah, and I think we'll talk about more about the Knicks and stuff like that. A lot of questions for them. The future of Julius Randle. What you gonna do about that? Mitchell Robinson, is he worth keeping on the roster? It's like rumors about trading him, stuff like that. So a lot of questions about the Knicks. Solid roster, but you know, is it coaching or maybe need like another thing or two? We'll see. We'll circle back, D Lock. We'll circle back to Saturday. The Mavericks beat the Thunder 117-116 in a nice, thrilling game, which I thought OKC, I won't say blow them out, but they had a nice, comfortable lead going to like in the second half until they kind of just, wet the bed in a sense. The Mavericks, if y'all didn't watch the game, won thanks to PJ Washington getting fouled at the 3-point line by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And if you see the play, Alexander first initially got the all ball, but unfortunately, momentum had his hand slide down and hit PJ's arm, which resulted in the foul. Which, you could debate, was it a foul, was it not, but it is what it is. But great game, close game, all that stuff. And the Mavs move on to the Western Conference where they await the Timberwolves and the Denver Nuggets. Whoever comes out that matchup. D-Lock, your thoughts on this series between the Mavs and the Thunder? And was it a foul or not on SGA at the end of the game? What are your thoughts on that?
That was very close for me. I obviously think that they should have left it. We always have these that happen in games where it's like, oh, well, let the players play. And you call, the right, call or not call something. I think that that was a foul. You have to call that. But again, I think it wasn't just that decision that, determined the outcome of this game in this series. I think, again, and I text you right after. You talk about shooting your shot. I'll make a bold statement now and say that the Dallas Mavericks are going to the NBA Finals. Yes, and I know it's we're at that bottom 4 or now 3 teams that is very tough to pick in between. But I say that because having a Kyrie and a Luka on one team is very dangerous. Doesn't matter if it's the Minnesota Timberwolves or the Denver Nuggets. That is going to be a problem for any team to deal with. No matter how they play, how they set up their scoring, how they set up their minutes, that team is going to be very tough for anybody to deal with. And they're making those big changes to add in a PJ Washington, right? A Daniel Gafford. They got the bigs now also. This team and the Derek Lively, this team is going to be very hard for anybody to play. They can put together, they have a bench that they can put together also that can score as well. I mean, come on, man. We looking at some of these stats from this game 6. Derek Lively came off the bench, had 30 minutes, had 15 boards and 12 damn points. So you have the team that has a rotation of bigs, and now you have the guard play that is extremely well. Oh, and let's not forget, Tim Hardaway can get cooking also at times. So this is a very good roster. I think that any team that they play, whether it's the Timberwolves or the Nuggets, is going to struggle against this team. Now, I honestly think OKC played a hell of a series. And it sucks that it had to be, that kind of call that make that decision. But again, like I said before, I think they're missing that bitter. We talked about, the bold off-season moves the last show, and I really think that this team goes and tries to go get a vet. Use that draft capital to go get you a vet. There's no reason for you to draft anybody else. Your team is very young. You just need to go get you a vet to lead you there. And I think that is what this OKC Thunder team is missing. So, again, I think it was a hell of a series. It ended in 6. The Mavericks are going to be tough, man. I mean, to see what they have, knowing what Kyrie and Luka can do. They, like I said, they have a unit where they can have Luka, on the bench, have Kyrie run the point, having the PJ Washington, hell, putting in the Gafford at the center, or even Lively, then throwing in Josh Green. They have so many different rotational guys that they can put in, and this team has different types of groups that they can put together. So the Mavericks are going to be tough, man. Like I said, I think that this team, like I said, bold statement. You got the returning NBA champs in the Denver Nuggets there. We'll see how they pan out today. Actually, they're down right now against the Nuggets. But I think that this team is going to the NBA Finals, man. I mean, I know that's a very bold statement, but at this point, with the team, the pieces that they have, this team is very scary. It's going to be hard to deal with for any team.
I think for me, let's see. We'll talk about the game 6. Just go over the stats real quick. Chet Holmgren, 21 points, only 3 rebounds for him, and 1 for 7 for 3-point land. He's got one thing he's got to work on, I think, which he probably does know, to get a little bit stronger, stuff like that, and play a little bit tougher inside. That's one thing he's got to work on. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 36 points for him, 8 assists. Josh Giddey did not start. He only played 11 minutes and didn't do nothing. Wallace had 24 minutes, but 5 points for him. 22 points for Jalen Williams as well. From the Mavs side of things, Luka, at one point, Luka, who our guy at technical, still, crying and moaning to the refs. Now I said to myself, like, dude, if you start crying and moaning and just focus on ball, you can do some shit. And then I think at one point, in the second half, he was crying and moaning, and then next thing you know, they go on a little run. I said, damn, dude, if you do more than that, stop moaning and stuff like that, I think, well, I say damn near unstoppable, but damn. I mean, you are one of the better players in the league, but I think you could be more in an echelon, in a height, and people revere you more. It was like, damn, dude. It was like, I'll teach that text. And I was like, damn, this dude bitch and moan so much. Just play ball. And playing ball gets his team on nice runs that kind of turns momentum in the game. Kyrie had a strong game, especially in the second half. He had some hit some key shots for them. 22 points for Derrick Jones. You want to talk about a player that kind of really improved his game, or had to, or he'd been out the league. Him. 4 for 6 for 3-point land for him. Years ago, I don't think you could really say that for him. He probably had a stat line like that since high school. But now he's a value contributor on an NBA franchise, and he's just not like a, high upside athletic guy and stuff like that. That is run and dunk and stuff like that. No, he can give you a little bit more now. And PJ Washington, kind of like the hero of the game, hit the free throws, steal the game, and he's been, along with Daniel Gafford, kind of like a godsend for this franchise. Derek Lively, like you mentioned, off the bench, strong game down low, 12 points, 15 rebounds. Hit some key shots down low towards the end of the game. Gotta get some post moves in this game, though. But play strong down low, which I like to see. So for me, for the Mavs, could they be NBA final bound? Yeah, it's possible. Like Marcus Los, great in the chat. He's watching the game. And he's watching, this game 7 heavyweight bout that's like, last night with Tyson Fury and the other fella. I forgot his name. But it's when you're seeing see who they match up with, D-Lock. It's like, do you be match up with the Wolves? That kind of match up with you with the two bigs and stuff like that. You count third with Nas Reed. Or do you want to go against the Nuggets, who you also match up with because PJ can stick with Aaron Gordon, and you got two bigs to run at Jokic. I don't know. It's kind of hard. What you think? Who do you think the Mavs will ever want to see? The Nuggets or the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals?
I mean, to be honest with you, if I really had to pick who they prefer to see, I would say probably the Nuggets, because obviously they do have the guys, but I think what we're seeing with Denver against Minnesota is they're struggling with both the bigs, right? Karl Anthony Towns and Gobert, they've got bodies to throw at Jokic. So when you have that, he can't be the only person that scores for them. Now, Michael Porter has to be more consistent. Remember, we talked about it last year. We talked about what were they going to do with Michael Porter because he was so inconsistent. But they got away with that because Jokic did so much, right? Now, you throw the bodies at Jokic. Now you're relying on Michael Porter to do more. Jamal Murray has to be more consistent, which he can be that way. KCP has to do more. So, my mind, I'm thinking possibly more of the Nuggets because if you can slow down Jokic, man, you're in a good spot. You really don't want to deal with if I wouldn't want to match up with the Timberwolves. I think that's more of the Timberwolves' favor because of having the bigs and having that rotation of Alexander Walker coming in with Anthony Edwards, Kyle Anderson, all these other guys, and also you could throw in Nas Reed. So for me, I think they would rather see Denver, but man, I'm pretty sure they feeling so confident right now. They don't care who they see, but I'm thinking preference wise, the Nuggets is a better matchup for them. I think if you do get that matchup, you're probably maybe we don't see all the way game 7 to where I think Timberwolves and Mavs, that definitely sounds like a game 7 match because Anthony Edwards is playing out of his mind and he's definitely not gonna let them go away easy.
I think I look at like if Dallas get matched up with Denver, we're gonna see the impact of losing Bruce Brown because you want somebody like that to guard either like trying to contain Kyrie and Luka at strong points of the game, most of the game, but strong points in the game, along with KCP and Christian Brown. But now you kind of take him out of it. Now you kind of rely on Christian Brown, Reggie Jackson, to kind of help, KCP on that department. You're not going to get that with Michael Porter Jr. Like, if you get some switches with Kyrie and Luka, he better be screaming for help for a double team. But I think, we've seen with the Riot, like, guys who've been playing well, like PJ, Derrick Jones, those guys playing well in the starting lineup, they can take advantage of their shots. They can hit those shots. So you got one avenue there. Now, granted, on the offensive side of things, you know, how long can you hire Luka on a Michael Porter Jr. or KCP? And think about Denver, they can run a whole bunch of guys at him, and he's got to play some defense. We're gonna be real. He's got to play some defense, especially if he gets like match up with Michael Porter Jr. and stuff like that. You got to play some defense. But you look at the Timberwolves side of things, like you mentioned, Alexander Walker, Nas Reed off the bench, slow mo, Kyle Anderson. Got those guys there. And then, you got the two bigs and Gobert and Cat. And then Anthony Edwards, who's been playing at another level during this playoff run. Conley's like the nice conductor that keeps the ship going as well. But, and plus, Jay McDaniels, one of the better two-way players in the league. So it's I know they ain't gonna be scared of nobody, but it's just like there's like different avenues like you can look at and see, well, do I want to go this route? Do we want to play this guy? All this stuff. Right now you got the Nuggets up on the Wolves 28-19. So, and Jamal Murray, 13 points for him. Looking like a strong bounce back game for him. So I don't know, D. Like, it's just real tough. You got the pros and cons, stuff like that. So it's really we really see who comes out tonight's game, and we'll get that matchup come Wednesday or Thursday. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, I'm definitely not trying to. I'm definitely not trying to be a team that faces Kyrie and Luka. That's definitely not my thing. So I feel like that is a dangerous combination, man. I mean, like I said, they made that big trade at the deadline, which was the most impressive out of all teams. You go grab a PJ Washington, and not only that, you go get a Daniel Gafford. So you got these guys in here and doing this after recently drafting Derek Lively.
Yep.
So this is not about the production that Derek Lively was giving them. This is about getting depth. This is about making that team better and being prepared everywhere. And if you look at that team, you're going to grab a Derrick Jones as well. You put together a team that has length. We talked about that with the Lakers last year against the Nuggets and other teams. The Nuggets had length, and they do. And they make it hard for teams to, play against them with them. And that's what the Mavericks put together. So, again, for me, I would say the best, situation with best matchup would be against the Nuggets. But to the Nuggets or Timberwolves, man, y'all got that work cut out playing against those two guys together.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough matchup. Prediction right now, while this game's going live, who wins between Denver and Minnesota?
I can't right now. I think Denver takes this game. I think Joker's just not. It's not gonna let this one go. Even with the rotational guys Minnesota have, Joker's just gonna be the MVP. He's gonna find a way to get this done. This is knowing what's at stake. Yeah, definitely Joker.
I'm going opposite with you. Give me the Timberwolves. I think Anthony Edwards might wake up, and I think they get a contribution from the bench somewhere. But I think Anthony Edwards wake up and kind of take over. It'll be close, kind of similar like Dallas and OKC, but I think it'll be close. So give me Denver. I mean not Denver, Minnesota to win. To win that game. D-Lock, let's pivot real quick. In which now the Nuggets up 30-19 right now with the Timberwolves second time out. Let's pivot to the WNBA. The WNBA is in full swing now. The season kicked off, I think, last week. We haven't really had a chance to talk about it. But your thoughts of how things are going so far for the ladies? A lot of buzz, Clark and others and stuff like that, and along with the old vets. All eyes on Caitlin Clark. Do the Las Vegas Aces repeat as champs? What about New York? Can they get back to the WNBA finals? How do some of the rookies look with their new squads? All that. So what are your thoughts on the WNBA season so far in your eyes?
I know it's a struggle right now for Clayton Clark. I mean, they literally are all eyes are on her. So every time something happens, they definitely check it out. But I feel like as any rookie in any sport, it's going to take you time to make that slight adjustment. She had to get acclimated, get situated with being there, obviously. But I think recognition wise, more people are I believe watching. I think it's good that they're getting this exposure. And I think, like I said, it's going to be very good moving forward for the WNBA. I think Angel Reese, who is also getting used to being on a professional level as well. But I definitely think that the WNBA is going to starting to get more attention as they should. But I think that big step of having them have their own flights, that is a big deal, and it shows the progress that they're making. So I'm definitely happy to see that, and hopefully we have a lot more fans continue to watch and pay more attention to us also as hosts and podcasters. And we'll talk more about it as well. But I definitely think this is a great sign for the WNBA.
I think for me, and shout out to this Drew Ski in the chat. What's going on, brother? I know you had a hell of a time in it's still called American Airlines Arena, but American Airlines Arena last night. I know you were happy jumping, and I know you probably celebrated the night away unless you had to go to work in the morning. But shout out to you. We just got done talking about the Mavs and Thunder not too long ago. Hold on, D-Lock. I'm not real quick on the Thunder, real quick. I did want to get this in. What you think about them? Some people, and me, you saw this tweet saying like they're like the worst number one seed ever, which is ludicrous to put that. But anyways, what's your thoughts on them and their future before we dive more into the WNBA? What do you think about OKC and their future?
I think the OKC are going to be fine, but again, like I said, they need that vet to come in, and make that difference. That's the biggest thing for me is you have your team that is going to, you have your young core, for a long time. That don't mean you go get you a hell of like a lot older, but you just need a vet there. I think I just seen that message, as far as Gordon Hayward being frustrated with his his role, but let's Gordon Hayward do. There's so much stuff that we can talk about with Gordon Hayward. But they need that vet presence. I think you keep this team together, they're going to be good for a long time. Now, this is the thing: is keeping that group together. You have to decide when you start to pay these guys, so you don't have to worry about somebody leaving, somebody going somewhere else. Those type of things. So for me, I like this team. Obviously, we see what the Timberwolves have done, the big change moving forward. I think that OKC is a team that's moving forward as well, but they have to stick together and get them a vet, which I think we see them grab a huge piece this offseason.
I'm gonna make a couple ball predictions for the Thunder to do. I know we talked about it last week, but I got to thinking on this. And I mentioned this on BS Black Sports Online post yesterday about what the Thunder should do. I thought about this. I was like, do you so high on Josh Giddey? And for me, I thought about a couple players they could target. One, I thought about Paul George. Paul George is looking for a new deal. The Clippers, I think they probably give it to him, but it's kind of like they're not no close to a deal. Why not look to bring Paul George back into the fold? I think he could give you the right push with this young squad. Now, granted, you may have to give up Josh Giddey and a couple guys and some draft picks back to the Clippers. And I don't know, sending Josh Giddey out to California is not the best idea, given his troubles out there. But something to look at. Or our good friend Cam Thomas out in Brooklyn. Cam Thomas has really never gotten the shake that he has deserved in Brooklyn. And he kind of fits in with the young group, but he can score. Now, granted, and I think if you can work this out this way, can you pull off a sign and trade along with Nicholas Claxton, who's also a free agent, sense of capital and stuff like that, and now you got a big that can rebound, play defense for you, which you're kind of lacking. Get a nice another scorer that could put this on up to replace Giddey. Now you got a whole looking new team right there, OKC. SGA, Cam Thomas, Dort. Chet at the 4, Claxton at center, and then you got your bench guys. Now you kind of cooking there. I know we kind of talk about the veterans and stuff like that, and they could go that route. But that Brooklyn option looking kind of good if they could pull that off. And Gordon Hayward, I sent you that thing. Gordon Hayward could kiss off. Like, dude, you got traded in February. You got your money. I know you probably don't want to play, but dude, you've been cashing checks for the last 4 years, man. Just shut up. If you wanted to be the man,
right?
Well, let me rephrase that. I think he could have been the man in youth. I mean, not in Boston, but the leg injury just kind of fucked everything up. Yeah, but if you really, really want to be the man, you should have stayed your ass in Utah. But anyways, back to the WNBA real quick. I had to get that in. Back to the WNBA real quick. For me, let's talk about the Caitlin Clark angle real quick. Jeff Teague said something stupid the other day that they should let her score. And stuff like that. I was like, nah, dude, come on. That is very dumb to say. I think she will adjust and get used to the game, as things roll along. We see that with all the all-time greats in college basketball. It'll work itself out. I don't think her coach is doing her any favors, in which they may be changing soon. And I think for me, the league is kind of like fumbling this whole thing as a whole. It's like from the word jump, you knew this girl was coming in and bringing eyes and stuff to your league. The league should have sent memos out to everybody to not say nothing negative to mess up the money. Like we talked, NBA draft last year, D-Lock. When Victor Wembanyama was getting drafted and all that stuff, you didn't hear one damn singular negative thing said towards him. Whether it's during the draft coverage, players on Twitter, whatever, all gave him praise. Here, we can't wait to get her to the league and fuck her up. No, you don't say that. Praise her, stuff like that. Kiss her ass, something. But sometimes it's like this WNBA gets in its own way. And I think, for me, I think they fumbling things, not just with her, but also with the other popular one that got drafted to the Chicago Sky, Angel Reese. They're not showlining her, which her and Caitlin Clark kind of got this thing rolling a couple years ago in their national championship game. And I don't think they really tap into that Angel Reese base like they really should. If they could get that ball rolling along with the Clinton Clark reach right there, I think the future is looking bright. Cameron Brink, hey, she got great potential. Kind of remind me if things work out, like a female Anthony Davis. The way she, plays defense, helps on the weak side, stuff like that. And she can work some moves and stuff like that. She's long and stuff like that. She can go. She can do the damn thing. And she got a little bit of appeal to her as well. Being in Southern Cal and all that stuff. Being Steph Curry's god sister. There's just a lot of angles that this league is not taking advantage of with this rookie class, in my humble opinion, D-Lock. I'll let you back in.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you have the class that can make that big difference, and you have to treat it as such. Going in there, saying what they're gonna do, I don't think that's the right way to go about it. I guess it's the approach of we have it's kind of like how they're trying to haze, if you will, have all these different mindsets with that, but that does not work. The WNBA realistically is not there right now. If you want to have that approach, that's a terrible approach. So for me, like you said, a different approach is what needs to be done, but they have to have that adjustment and call that. But you have these stars that can make a big difference. Now, granted, I feel like a lot of these vets that are in the league, they want to. They feel like, well, hell, we've been here, for a while. So now that you got these rookies coming in, now all of a sudden y'all want to change X, Y, Z, which I understand that. But at the same time, now use this opportunity to move forward with each other.
Yes.
Right? And take that advantage. But once we're gonna, be like just mess this person up and have some type of hatred toward them, that's not gonna help anything at all. So now, like I said, I think that's something that the WNBA needs to look into because that does play a big difference moving forward. Again, and now they got charters. They're getting more recognition. They need to use that to their advantage. And if they don't, now we have the same issue. So again, I'm with you on that side. It doesn't have to be so much of a, well, we're gonna have so much hatred toward the class that's in. Use that to your advantage, and use it to move forward as a whole, for the WNBA, because they're going to continue getting, a rookie class coming in every year. We want to expand this league. Well, this is your chance to be able to do that. Use this chance to do that. So, to me, I think that this is what they need to do. But again, I think, like you said, that approach just sounds so terrible, man. That sounds bad, and it doesn't help anything at all.
Yeah, and the league's expanded. Next year, you got the Golden State Valkyrie coming to the fold, which is going to help a lot with these young ladies that got cut and stuff like that during training camp and preseason. That's going to help a lot. Then they announced Toronto is getting, the expansion team. So you got two teams coming down the pike that's going to help things. And the Golden State, the Valkyrie, the logo for all that stuff, it looks beautiful. It looks great. I'm curious what they're going to do for the Toronto name, but, right now you're standing at 12 teams, 14 coming down by at least by 2026. If you add one more somewhere, I don't know where you can put that at, but now you get things rolling, and then by that time, when the Toronto team comes in, now you're looking at that freshman class, in women's, with Juju leading the way. Now we're kind of cooking. Now we kind of get things rolling, all that stuff. Maybe some of the old guard will be out. More of the other girls be more established, stuff like that. So for me, so far the WNBA season, I think a lot of fumbling the bag, a lot of PR trips and stuff like that. New York, Las Vegas, Connecticut being at the top three is no surprise. And then, LA. And Seattle's kind of surprised being 1 and 2 as well. With all the additions they have, I'm surprised they're not undefeated as well. But we'll see how, the rest of the season shapes up. But any final thoughts on that before we close the show?
I'm with you. I feel like I said, I think, you have to make the wise decision as far as how you approach, this league moving forward. Collectively, as athletes, as coaches, as staff, you want to have that support. Well, show that support. You cannot, go at each other like that. Hell, they don't have those. It's kind of like having big time rivalries we see in these big sports. The WNBA doesn't have that yet. When we talk about the Game 7 between the Pacers and the Knicks, that is a rivalry that's been there for a while. WNBA does not have that right at this moment. Like, granted, it's going to get there, but it's not there yet. So the approach needs to change.
Yeah, and, before we go off there, that rivalry part, it sucks that the Houston Comets are defunct because they had that rivalry with the Liberty when the league first started. And you kind of had that rivalry with the Sparks as well. And you kind of missed that. And if Tillman Fertitta is serious about bringing the Comets back, that'll be also a great move right there. But, we'll see how things shape up and all that stuff. But this has been our show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. Going back to the Nuggets Timberwolves game with 3:33 left in the second. Nuggets are up double digits, 46-33 right now. My prediction ain't looking too good. Jamal Murray 22 points so far. Jokic looking like another triple double is on deck. So a lot of half to play. So we'll see how things shape up for both teams. D-Lock, how can people find you on social media?
can find me on Black-813 on X. Let know they can find you at the show's page.
You can find the show's page at Fast Break at IESR. That's Fast Break IESR. Do follow IE Sports Radio on all your social media feeds: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter/X, TikTok as well. Do go to iSportsRadio.com for all your latest shows, news, and feeds, and check out the gift shop as well. Also, do follow me on Twitter at Spawn4288. That's Spawn4288. I do have a show this side called The Crooks Process. I did post my latest show about the Tennessee Titans draft, all that stuff, last week. So do check out The Crooks Process on Instagram and Facebook. I didn't put the post yet, but the show's up on Spotify if you find it there. But till then, ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk to y'all next week. We'll talk about who wins between the Nuggets and Timberwolves, the Celtics, Pacers, more WNBA talk, and Bronny James getting a lot of pub. We'll talk to y'all next week. Talk to y'all later. Peace.